is the first away trip to Clemson his first year. Future plans include moving back to New England to pursue a career in marketing as well as coach lacrosse. Number 4, Will Stone, attack. Escorted by his parents, Michael and Susan Stone. His major is entrepreneurship. Awards include Dean's List and MCLA ALC Conference Second Team Honorable Mention 2023. His favorite lacrosse memory is watching the goalies turn and rake. Future plans include pursuing a position in sales. Number 6, Michael Murphy, midfield. Escorted by his parents, Paul and Jennifer Murphy. His major is accounting. His favorite lacrosse memory, the Florida trip. Future plans include attaining a CPA license. Number 17, Daniel Cardenet, long stick midi. Escorted by his parents and sister. His major is supply chain management. Favorite lacrosse memory, beating Temple last year. His future plans include working at home in his home state of Virginia. Number 22, Edward Heaney, defense, escorted by Cam Walters, and his major is general business. Favorite lacrosse memory, the Florida trip. His future plans include being a firefighter from New York. Number 23, Brock Altland, attack. Escorted by his mother, father, brother, and sister. He's a marketing major. His awards include the President's List last fall, his favorite lacrosse memory, Arizona trip. His future plans include a career in sales. Number 26, David Lipinski, midfield. Escorted by his parents, Hillary and Chuck Lipinski. He's a finance major. His awards include the Dean's List, his favorite lacrosse memory, being the president, Sean's co-pilot, and away trips. His future plans, be a financial advisor. Number 28, Caleb Hamrich, midfield. His major is supply chain management. Awards include making the Dean's List 3 times. Favorite lacrosse memory, leaving Corey at the airport on the Arizona trip. His future plans include going home to live with his parents. Number 29, David Colangelo, defense. Escorted by his parents, Todd and Betty Colangelo, as well as his girlfriend, Sophia. His major is finance. His awards include being on the Dean's List 3 times. His favorite lacrosse memory, Libby's Stroking Karaoke Bar in Spartansburg, South Carolina. Future plans include working as a junior financial advisor for the Barnum Financial Group. Number 32, Sean Kenworthy, defense. Escorted by his parents, Kevin and Cindy. He's a business management major. His awards include president of the West Virginia lacrosse team, 6 times on the Dean's List and 1 time on the President's List. His favorite lacrosse memory, Florida, Arizona, and Clemson trips. Future plans include finding a good job and working and making lots of money. Number 46, Chase Elsis, defensive midi, member of the Guts crew. Escorted by his parents, Stephen and Jennifer Elsis. His major is mechanical engineering. His favorite lacrosse memory is van trips in the Sean Mobile. Future plans include getting ready for turkey season. Number 90, Alex Sakis, face-off. Escorted by his parents, Brett and Sharon. His major is supply chain management. His favorite lacrosse memory, the Arizona trip. Future plans are unknown. And number 99, Connor Hogan, defense. Escorted by his parents, Bill and Jane Hogan. His major is sports media, and his future plans include working in professional sports. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2024 West Virginia lacrosse team seniors.
From downtown Morgantown, West Virginia, we welcome you to coverage of the 2024 West Virginia lacrosse season. And today it is the matchup between the 4-4 West Virginia Mountaineers and the 2-4 Fighting Illini out of Illinois. Good afternoon and welcome into today's broadcast, everybody. Tara Malone along with Jim Mills, set to call the action between the Mountaineers and the Illini. And Dr. Mills, senior day here on the Evansdale campus, and a special day indeed.
Taryn, it's senior day, and it's a beautiful day. I'll tell you what, the weather is fantastic. It's a little chilly in the high 40s, but, you know, the sun is shining, and I feel something. It's much better vibes today than it was Friday.
Well, good vibrations and good vibes here indeed. Let's talk about the matchup against James Madison just a couple days ago at Pony Lewis Field.
Do we have to?
Well, we got to recap what took place. So West Virginia fell to JMU by a decent amount, and then the Illini played JMU yesterday, and they fell as well. So JMU improves to 7-1 on the season as we are underway from the Evansdale campus here at West Virginia University.
Okay, Taryn, well, the refs started the game. We were supposed to start at noon, but they started a little early.
So we're 6 minutes early.
And that got me out of talking about the JMU game on Friday, so that's great. The Mountaineers have the ball. They won that first face-off, and there's a shot and a score. That's the pride of Dallastown, Brock Aldlin. That was like a beer truck rolling down High Street with an assist from Jackson Smith.
So just like that, West Virginia punches their first strike. It's 1-0 Mountaineers early in the first quarter.
Well, I'm hoping that we get someone to operate the scoreboard. That would be fantastic. But, you know, if not, we'll be okay. We're going to be okay, Terrence.
A little short-handed here indeed today. We've got one camera person. We were supposed to have two. Illness has been a factor for a lot of programs across the country, and it's starting to take place here in our media staff as well.
There's another face-off win by the Mountaineers. The ball went over into the defensive side of the field and was picked up by Sean Kenworthy. There's a pass that goes way upfield, and that's picked up by Altland. And so Altland's going to settle the ball on the offensive side of the field. The Mountaineers are already up 1-0 on this beautiful spring day here in Morgantown. So they bobbled the ball a little bit. You know, that was one of the problems on Friday night. They just couldn't handle the ball well. They still were on spring break, I think, honestly, Taryn. They were still in Florida and Cancun. I don't know where they went, but that's where they were on Friday night.
Well, they were definitely not in Morgantown as JMU rolled past the Mountaineers. And JMU, we've talked about that program over the course of the past couple of days. They picked up a quality win over this Illini team. So it was really an interesting weekend to see where you're at scale-wise. And for West Virginia to strike first early this afternoon is really a good sign here early.
There, that ball is bobbled down and by Randalls, and there's a vicious hit by Andrew Curtis. White Lightning's on the field. And the Mountaineers pick that ball up. We're going to retain possession. Oh, and there's going to be a turnover on time. The shot clock violation down to 0, so that's going to be a turnover to the Illini.
So something that you did not want to see early has already taken place, but West Virginia is on top 1-0. So a little bit of sign of life for West Virginia early, but the Illini is starting to work their way back.
So there's an errant pass by the Illini, and that's going to roll out of bounds. And the West Virginia Mountaineers are going to take over.
And before we get a million comments on YouTube, yes, we know the camera's at a weird angle. We're posted up on a hill here today, so bear with us. We only have one camera operator, so just a little note there.
Is it a weird angle? I think it looks pretty good.
Well, whenever you turn it, it is weird.
All right, well, so the Illini have the ball on their offensive end of the field, and they're going to start their first offensive possession. The Mountaineers have their senior-laden defense on the field, and we're going to talk about the seniors a lot today, Taryn. We've got 14 seniors on the field today. This is a great class. Many of them are 4-year seniors that have been in the program since they were a freshman. So we're very fortunate to have this experience on the field.
And it's really a cool opportunity, too, to honor your seniors that stuck it out throughout the course of the year and over the past couple years, really, with this program, to see them progress over the course of the past 2 to 3 years I've been with the program has been really a great sight to see.
And that's going to be an over back violation on the Illini, so the Mountaineers are going to get the ball. And we'll see if they can make anything happen. There's Mike Murphy with the ball. There's a beautiful pass to Altland, but Altland goes past the crease. He doesn't shoot. Back around over to Will Stone, and the Mountaineers settle. So Altland wanted to, settle that ball and get the offense on the field, and he chose not to do a slow break. They had an opportunity for a slow break there. The Mountaineers on transition this year have been relatively good, but they can always do a little better, I think, with both their fast and slow breaks. There's Augie Flynn with a pass, and that shot is blocked. That was Jake Brandenburg with a shot. Now picked up by Altland, and they're going to resettle. There's, I guess, a new 80 seconds on the shot clock there. Must have been blocked or saved by the goalie. It bounced out from the crease. There's Brandenburg with a beautiful shot that just went just about a foot wide to the left of the cage. And now the Mountaineers will take the ball out from the end line. West Virginia comes into this game with a 4-4 record. There's a shot. Goes wide of the cage and out, backed up by Randalls. But you know what? It's a little deceiving, Taryn. The 4 losses for the Mountaineers are all against top 16 teams in the MCLA.
So, I mean, for a perspective of looking at it, West Virginia has been there. They've had opportunities, and they had an opportunity right there as West Virginia punches one in.
There's a shot and a score by number 7, Augie Flynn. Scratch my back with a long wall. The Mountaineers go up 2-0 with 10 minutes left on the first quarter clock.
So let's talk about last year real quick. Last year, West Virginia had that 3-game stretch in the Midwest. As Jim Mills is getting ready to do PA.
Mountaineer goal by number 7, August Flynn.
Dr. Mills doing a little bit of dual work here, as if everybody else is as well today. Mountaineers here as well, as you heard the rifle shot in the background. But West Virginia is on top 2-0 early in this first quarter of play. Now, as I was saying, reflecting back to last season when West Virginia went out to the Midwest, had a 3-game stretch, won in overtime against Indiana, had a close game against Illinois. You alluded to that game on Friday where the Illinois game was freezing cold, that you pretty much camped out at the Walmart in the middle of nowhere. And then to cap off the weekend, a beautiful game at Purdue. And they won all 3 of those contests. So a nice little measuring stick-wise to see where West Virginia is to compete against this Illini team.
There's a shot by Illinois that bounced over the cage and was picked up out of the air by Sean Kenworthy. Looks like the defense has a little bit, we got a stoppage in play here. We got an injured Illini player out on the field. Yeah, Taryn, that trip out to Illinois and Indiana, that was a fantastic road trip for the Mountaineers. We went undefeated, as you mentioned, in that road trip. We beat all 3 teams, and we came back to Morgantown with a 5-1 record last year and a top 25 ranking. We were ranked 25th in the nation after that road trip.
And it was a really successful road trip indeed. Like we mentioned, it was a measuring stick opportunity for West Virginia as the Illini players up and good. And now we can resume play here in the first quarter. But, yeah, you mentioned West Virginia cracked that top 25, and it was really a special moment for Brian Houck and the program. It was something that they haven't experienced before, and they had that opportunity last year. They've been trying to get to that opportunity this year, but they've been in every game that they've played except for the JMU game last Friday. So it was really an eye-opener performance for West Virginia and for Brian Houck. saying, hey, we need to wake up. If we want to have any shot at winning the conference or have a playoff opportunity, we have to wake up and we've got to play well.
Well, I couldn't agree with that more, Taryn. I mean, I think they do have to wake up. That was really, I can't find the right words, abysmal, and, it was a bad performance on Friday night. And they just didn't come to play. The Dukes came to play. The Mountaineers did not. And that was a Jekyll and Hyde performance, honestly, after the Liberty game when they really played one of the best, if not the best team performances I've ever seen from this team on 2 weeks ago against Liberty. And then to come out so flat against JMU, that's why it was so disheartening.
So Liberty, they had a quality win over, I do believe, Utah State, and they were the top-ranked team in the country. And it was really a true performance, unlike any
There's
other.
a save by Gager.
Unlike any other in the MCLA, as Liberty has been really the perennial power in the conference or in the league.
Well, they lost last night. Liberty lost to Chapman. And these are top 10 programs. I think what you're seeing is these top 10 programs play each other. They try to get better, and they try to get a handle on each other to get to the national tournament. And so Liberty played Chapman in Lynchburg and lost to them by 3 just last night. Chapman's a Southern California team, and you know what? Those West Coast teams are fantastic. Over and over again, the West Coast teams continue to be in the top 10, and Chapman's always in the top 10. So the Illini had the ball on their end of the field, and the Mountaineers are up in the first quarter. It's 7 minutes to go in the first quarter. Mountaineers are up 2-0, and that's going to be a turnover to the Mountaineers.
By the way, where the heck did this wind come from? We haven't had wind all day, and here it is.
West Virginia takes the ball out from their defensive end of the field. Jack Gager has the ball, and he passes up to the midfielder. That's Jackson Smith. He's got wheels. Jackson's looking for a pass, and he passes over Brock Altland's head, and that ball goes out of bounds.
2-0 West Virginia leads this one early as we are still in the first quarter of play. And the Illini will have an opportunity to go back on offense.
Illini goalie's taking it upfield. He passes over to the midfield line, and that's number 40. The ball goes down on the ground, but then scooped up by the Illini. Ground ball there, and Jackson Smith gets caught on defense. He's going to stay on the field. Illini set a pickup that wasn't used. There goes a dodge down the... and that ball gets in. That gets past Gager. That's number 18 for Illinois, putting the Illini on the board. It's 2-1 with 6 minutes and 3 seconds left on the first quarter clock.
If you're just now joining us, we welcome you to the WVU Rec Center Field in Morgantown, West Virginia. It's the Mountaineers and the Fighting Illini of Illinois squaring off, and this is an opportunity for both squads to increase their record on the year, of course. West Virginia 4-4, Illinois 2-4. They had a game yesterday against the Dukes of JMU, and they fell to the Dukes just like West Virginia did on Friday.
Face-off won by the Illini, and they're going to bring it upfield. Pass over to their midfielder, and they're going to set up their offense. So Illinois comes into this game with a record of 2-4. They've taken a couple really long road trips. They went down south to LSU, and they've just really been on the road a lot this season. That takes a toll on a team. When you travel a lot, sometimes you have to travel to play some of the better teams and opponents to elevate your program. But sometimes all that travel kind of takes a toll. That's a save by Gager. A beautiful save by Gager. Ball's still down on the ground. No one seems to want it. There's a scrum and now a push. And now there's a flag on the field. So Jeff Thompson pulls his flag out from way across on the other side of the field. The man has eagle eyes. That's 20 yards away from where the action was, and Thompson throws a flag.
It was a chilly start to this Sunday morning, but things are starting to heat up here in Morgantown. Expected temperatures is going to be about 55 degrees, but the temperature will increase throughout the course of this contest here this afternoon.
So we're going to have a 1-minute cross-check penalty on number 45, Chase Elsis. He takes a knee in the box, and that's unfortunate. The Mountaineers cannot afford to be in the box as much as they were on Friday night. That was one of the reasons why they got their, they lost so badly. There's a save by Gager.
So the Illini had that opportunity to try to get one in, take advantage of that penalty to tie things up, but couldn't get things done on offense. Couldn't get that ball past, of course, Gager. He's been one of the best in the country when it comes to terms of saves. So here we go yet again. The Illini working their way downfield. Opportunities still exist for the Illini to tie things up. Shot up and no good. And the shot goes a little too far outside the net, so here we go yet again. So the Illini working the ball all across the field. They're going to settle on offense. They're going to try to get something going here. Shot way past the net, all the way out to the parking lot and to the rec center itself. That one had a little bit of heat under it.
There's a shot and a score by the Illini that gets past Gager, and that's going to even the score at 2 with 4 minutes and 14 seconds left on the first quarter clock.
So as I mentioned before, opportunities did exist for the Illini to tie things up. With that penalty just a few moments ago, they took advantage of it. They settled on offense, and they took advantage of that opportunity, and here we are tied up at 2.
And there's a turnover. There's a procedure call on Satkus, and so that's going to give the ball to the Illini. They're going to have the ball on their offensive end yet again.
So let's talk about the future of WVU's schedule for the remaining course of the season. What does West Virginia have coming up?
Well, Terry, next weekend they're going to take some time off for the spring holiday and Easter weekend. Their next game after today's game will be against Pitt. There's a shot, and it's saved by Gager. Gager standing tall in the cage. That was a beautiful save, right, with a 10-yard shot right in front of the cage. And looking now for an outlet pass. That's Hogan. He's struggling a little bit, looking for an outlet pass. He has a beautiful shot backward, and he finally finds his outlet. That's Jackson Smith over on the near side of the field. So the Mountaineers are going to settle on their offensive side of the field. So I was mentioning our next game after today's game is against Pitt. That's on Saturday, April the 6th. That's a 6 p.m. start, and that game is in Pittsburgh at the Sports Dome on the campus of the university. There's a shot and a score. That's the pride of Dallastown, Brock Altland with a rocket right into the back of the net. And Grandma, load up the truck. We're going to the Mannington Fair.
Zip, zane, boom, there it is. West Virginia takes advantage of that opportunity, 3-2. And we are still in the first quarter of play.
West Virginia goal number 23, Brock Altland.
Jim Mills on the PA, doing double duty as always. Sometimes even triple duty. But a nice possession there for West Virginia to punch one in, start to have a little bit of momentum going back towards the ending point of this first quarter.
Illini win that face-off. Satkus is getting a lot of a lot of time in faceoff. Berger must be not feeling well today because he hasn't been out there yet. It's all Alex, but Alex is our senior, and so he should get the start, and he should get a lot of reps at faceoff.
Now, Berger had that injury in the JMU contest on Friday. I do believe it was an ankle or a leg or something.
Yeah, I think he busted his ankle. Probably a sprain. I hope it wasn't a high ankle sprain. You know, sometimes those take a while to get over.
So here we are, the Illini trying to battle their way back to tie things up yet again.
There's a shot that goes out of bounds, and that's going to be a turnover to the Mountaineers.
So here's this opportunity West Virginia needs to take advantage of if they want to pull away. Now, they've led by as much as 2 at the beginning stages of this contest at 2-0. They need to have this opportunity to start to have a little bit of wiggle room, I guess you could say, if they want to pull away and collect this win over this Illini squad.
Well, they just need to settle and play their game, Taryn. I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why they did so poorly Friday night is they just were out of sorts.
We spoke with Brian Houck after the game, and he kind of alluded to the option that I put out there, which was West Virginia did not settle with their shots. They just, once they had a possession, they would take the shot immediately, would not have time to set up the offense, and that was the difference on Friday.
Mountaineers with the ball. That's Will Stone. Now passes down to X. That's Tyler Randalls over to Brock Altman. They're spinning it around. Got a nice brisk wind here today. You can probably hear it. There's a shot by Stone. It's a beautiful save by the Illini goalie. Illini goalie today is number 30. And number 30 is Parker Brulo. There's a turnover picked up by the Mountaineers.
The Illini just couldn't get that ball picked up, and West Virginia took advantage of that opportunity, and here we go yet again.
Parker Bulow in goal for the Illini today. He's a senior out of Bloomington, Illinois. Not Bloomington, Indiana, but Bloomington, Illinois.
There's a Bloomington, Illinois.
That's what I'm saying. There's Andrew Curtis with the ball. Now Will Stone passes it, shoots, and he's right. He's nice save right on the crease. Not sure how he saved that. Now the Illini bring it down. They've got numbers. There's a fast break going on. There's a shot that gets wide of the cage.
And that's the end of the first quarter. West Virginia on top at the end of 1, 3-2. And we'll be back with the second quarter coming right up.
Phew, let's go.
Second quarter, West Virginia leads this one 3-2 as we welcome you back to the Evansdale campus of West Virginia University. And here we go yet again. Face-off is underway here in the second quarter. West Virginia had opportunities to extend this lead in the first. Couldn't get things going towards the ending point of the quarter.
We have a push, and that ball is going to be turned over to the Mountaineers. So push on the Illini. The Mountaineers get possession here to start the second quarter. and they are up 3-2 with a couple beautiful goals, one by Brock Altland, a couple by Augie Flynn. So the Mountaineers are, they won that first quarter. Let's win this one. We've got a beautiful day. The sun is shining, as you can see. It's a little chilly, but it's a beautiful day here in Morgantown.
And it's not us breathing heavily. It's the wind that's making that background noise. Before we get a comment on that.
There's a shot, and that's a save right in front of the cage. And that was a beautiful low-level shot, kind of a worm burner shot by Jake Brandenburg, that's stopped by the Illini goalie.
And he had a nice look, too, for that opportunity to take that shot. That's something we mentioned in our pregame, having that selective opportunity for the Mountaineers to punch one in. They had a really good look right there.
There's an interception by Sean Kenworthy. He's playing with the, and that was a little high pass. Just couldn't handle it, and that rolls out of bounds. Turnover back to the Illini. So we welcome many of our viewers that are out in Illinois that picked up our live stream. We appreciate you guys being with us today. And there's a pass that goes errant and over the head of the Illini attackman, and now the Mountaineers are going to get the ball back with a fresh 80 on the shot clock and a 3-2 lead. So a couple times in the background, Taryn, you may have heard a gunshot. We're all okay.
We're safe.
Braden Adkins, the new Mountaineer mascot, is with us today. And so we're really pleased to have the mascot with us. And he brought his musket, and he's here cheering us on.
I was making sure the canopy was steady. We had a nice burst of wind that just rolled through.
The canopy is nailed down in the front, and yeah, that's okay. We can do that, sure. I don't think it's going anywhere.
We're safe and sound either way. Between the wind, the gunshots, we had a timeout in the midst of all of the wind. But, we talked about last season a lot, and West Virginia had a lot going for them last year. We mentioned that 3-game stretch where they went 3-0 on the weekend. And this is an Illini squad that's been battle-tested throughout the course of the year. You mentioned with their schedule. What's it going to take for West Virginia to pull this one out?
Well, Taryn, I think, honestly, the Mountaineers have the talent to win this game, and they have the experience to win this game. We've got, as I mentioned earlier, 14 seniors today. Let's talk a little bit about our seniors. So on the offensive side of the field, it all starts with our 2 senior attackmen. That's Will Stone and Brock Altland. And interestingly enough, Will and Brock grew up just maybe 20 miles from each other. Brock grew up in Dallastown. That's a suburb of York, Pennsylvania, in south central PA. And Will grew up in Lancaster and went to Conestoga Valley High School in Lancaster County. So just on either side of the Susquehanna River. Taryn, do you know your geography?
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
I know how to get to and from Clarksburg to Morgantown in a matter of, let's say, 20 minutes. I know West Virginia quite well. I could go from Morgantown to Greenbrier County without looking at the GPS.
We've got a senior laden defense as well. Our deep defenders, our deep poles include Sean Kenworthy, the president of the team. He's a senior. And, of course, Dave Colangelo, the vice president of the team. He's a senior. And then Jacob Stam, he rounds out our deep poles. There's a beautiful touch and a beautiful shot and score by Jackson Smith. Puts the Mountaineers up. And now we're up how much? By 4-2.
Mountaineer goal, number 36, Jackson Smith.
Don't worry, we're safe. That's just the Mountaineer mascot, of course. What a great opportunity to get the Mountaineer down here with the lacrosse game here today. We had, I do believe, married a mascot last year. She came to the pit game, which got the players all hyped up as West Virginia wins that face-off. And they will continue to try to pull away here in the second quarter. But a little bit more publicity here in Morgantown, and with the state mascot being here to represent the university, it's just nice to have a little bit of more.
Oh, man. Mishandled that pass, and that's going to be a turnover. to the Illini. The Mountaineers won that last face-off, but then couldn't handle the ball. And it is nice to have the mascot here, that's for sure. And Braden Atkins, we wish him the very best. The Mountaineer mascot is really the face of the university, and they put in so much time and so much effort. And it's a busy year for them, but we do appreciate Braden being here. All right, so the Illini have the ball now on their offensive side of the field. The Mountaineers on defense, and our LSM, Bobby O'Neill, another senior. There's a shot that goes over the cage with 50 seconds left on the shot clock. The LSM, as I mentioned on the field, is Bobby O'Neill. Bobby is a senior. He is from Rhode Island. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's from North Kingsport, Rhode Island. And so we have there's a save by Gager. That's going to be a fresh 80 if the Illini pick it up, and they do. And there's another shot and another save by Gager, and this one stays in his net. Now Gager with the release, and that's intercepted by the Illini. That was an errant decision. There's a save by Gager. Oh, and it rolls in the cage.
Oh, man.
That rolls right in the cage, and that was unfortunate. Gager stopped it. It fell to the ground, and then it rolled into the cage.
Sometimes those will get right past you, and you don't even realize it till it's right past you.
Illini goal number 32, senior Logan Harth.
And so the Illini get on the scoreboard again. It's now 4-3. We've got about 7 minutes left in the second quarter.
So the back and forth shootout continues on, and the Illini trying to get down to field. And there's a loose ball on the turf, and there's going to be a stoppage in play.
That was a beautiful block by number 99, Connor Hogan. And Hogan's a man among men out there. He's actually, I beg your pardon, that was number 29, Dave Colangelo. Hogan is out there, number 99. He got the start today, Taryn Connor Hogan. He's one of our seniors, and so it's so great to see him out on the field. There's a shot that bounces over the cage.
So the Illini is still battling in this contest, and this is something that they've probably wanted. They wanted to contest West Virginia early. They've done so far. They only trail by one, and they're going to try to tie this thing up.
There's a shot by Har that went wide of the cage. 46 seconds left on the shot clock. So, Taryn, the year was 1983 when I came here as a freshman, and I lived in Tower 4 over there. That's now Brook Tower, and so I can still remember my room 4414. That was a heck of a year, 1983. Where were you in 1983, Taryn?
I think the real question was, where was my mother in 1983? I don't even know where she was. How many years ago was this?
I don't know. 83 was 41 years ago.
Well,
that's some quick math right there. Let's go. There's a turnover. Oh, no. Now another dropped ball, and now the Illini pick it up. So no one wants to keep the ball in possession.
I will tell you where my mother was. She was at Payton City Elementary School. So just to put that in perspective.
Oh, my gosh. Vicious hit there by Mike Murphy, and that's going to be a flag. The refs do not like vicious hits, and we've got a Illini down on the field, and he's not moving. Oh, now he is moving, thanks God. He took a wallop, man. That was a
That was something that you see like on those little hype videos. Yeah, you saw that here on the field here today. As the number 16 gets up on his own will, works his way to the sideline. There's going to be flags on the turf. We're going to assume this is going to be against the Mountaineers.
Number 16 is sophomore midfielder Henri Duplessis.
So he works his way to the sideline. Continuation of play will take place. And the officials will discuss this one. Another one just got flown out of nowhere.
So I'm not really sure what's going on, but Brian Houck is not happy. I know that. Here comes Mike Murphy over to the penalty box, and now Chase Elsis is also following him.
So Brian Houck wants an answer. So he was working his way to the sideline after the officials originally threw the flag. The official then threw the second flag. as he was working his way to the side of the field. We are looking for an answer here.
So we have an illegal body check. It's a 1 minute non-release, and we have a second penalty that is also, I think, unsportsmanlike, which is a 1 minute non-release.
And Brian Houck is looking for an answer now as he's having that on-field discussion with the officials, which I didn't see anything to prompt that second call from the camera view and from where we were standing. So kind of curious if there was a little bit of chirping going on as he was working his way to the sideline. We don't know. But it's not looking good if you're a West Virginia fan, of course.
Well, these are both seniors, Chase Elsis and Mike Murphy, and so they need to really realize that penalties will lead to losses. If you want to win lacrosse games, you stay out of the penalty box. I mean, it's as simple as that.
And
these are simple equations.
And
you
this
hold on to the ball, value possession, stay out of the penalty box, and you will win. It's as simple as that. I mean, it's an easy game, really.
So Brian Houck still wanting to have that on-field discussion with the official. And that discussion has been dealt with, and we're going to have Houck talking to his players, and we will have a continuation of play.
So the Illini have an EMO, and they are double EMO here for 1 minute, and it's locked in. And so Gager's going to have to stand tall, and that's a shot that went wide of the cage. And now Gager has it. He passes it over to, Colangelo, and he can't handle it. The ball goes down. There's going to be a shot on cage, and it goes in.
And the Illini taking advantage of that opportunity. We're knotted up at 4 apiece.
And that happened quickly, just within the first 20 seconds. So we got another 40 seconds of locked-in penalties, and we've got 2 men that are locked in for a minute. So we are double man down for an entire minute. We just gave up the first goal, and that was unfortunate. We had the ball. Jack Gager passed it out to Dave Colangelo. It was a high pass. Colangelo could not handle it. It went down, and it was picked up and shot and scored.
So a nightmare scenario for the Mountaineers, a dream scenario for the Illini to battle their way back as we're knotted up at 4 apiece in this second quarter of play. And the Mountaineers working their way up the field. Who's got the ball? The Illini do, and they'll turn up the Jets and head up the other way.
And they've got numbers, and they've got big-time numbers, and there's a shot, and that was an errant shot. I mean, he should have passed the ball. He had at least a 4-on-3, if not a 5-on-3 fast break, and that did not work. And so now the Illini have the ball. The Mountaineers still double man down. It's a 6v4 offensive advantage. And we'll see what Illinois does here. We've got another 15 seconds on this break, and there's a shot that went wide of the cage.
Illinois having to look after look, even though they have 2 men up on the field, still can't get it into the net thanks to Gager's performance.
The Mountaineers need to play in a tight defensive formation. They can't come out too far. They need to, not come out and play the ball. They've got to stay tight. That's a shot that goes wide of the cage. There's 59 seconds left on the shot clock.
So West Virginia really trying to stand tall defensively here, trying to handle these penalties that was down, and
there's a shot that goes wide.
Shot after shot can't go in for the Illini, and this is a really tough look if you're the head coach of Illinois. You really need to take advantage of these opportunities when they exist.
I'm not sure what Chase Elsis did, but this must have been a 2-minute lock-in because he's still on his knee over in the box. And so now we have a 6v5 disadvantage with Illinois still with a man up. There's 30 seconds on the shot clock. There's a shot that gets past Gager. And now Illinois goes up.
So
and Elsis is still on his knee. And I'll tell you what, Elsis would be on his knee on the bench if I was the head coach.
So Illinois went 2 for 5 in that opportunity for shots at the goal. They went 2 for 5 at shots, couldn't get anything to go in that little stretch. And now they've retaken they've taken their
Illini goal
first
number 4, Alex Fasso.
they've taken their first lead of the night, 5-4 in the second quarter of play. West Virginia led by as much as 2, but here come the Illini yet again.
There's a shot that goes wide of the cage and out of bounds, and the Illini are going to keep possession, and they won that face-off. And it looks like finally we are at even strength. So that was unfortunate. Now Illinois is up 5-4, and that's what happens when you run your mouth and you do things that just aren't kosher. You hurt your team. You hurt your team, Taryn.
And now West Virginia is in a unique situation because they haven't been down yet today. They are down by 1 to a 2-4 Illinois squad.
There's a shot that goes wide of the cage. 54 seconds on the shot clock. Illinois with the ball. So Illinois has their first line midfielders on the field. Number 4 is still out there. That's Alex Fasso. He just scored. He's a sophomore midfielder out of St. Charles East High School in St. Charles, Illinois.
So opportunities still exist for the Illini to add another point to the lead.
There's a shot that goes wide of the cage. That's a save by Gager with 30 seconds on the shot clock.
But they've had so many opportunities for shots at goal,
There's a shot saved by Gager.
including that one as well.
That was a shot coming from number 20, the Illini. That's Kevin McCarthy, a senior attackman out of Gurney, Illinois. So the Illini have all these lacrosse players that are coming from their home state. And so, that's what that says, Taryn, is that lacrosse is continuing to grow. I mean, the last place that lacrosse has been growing is in the Midwest. I mean, it has just exploded on the West Coast, the Southwest, the South. Lacrosse has exploded in the state of Texas, all through the Southeast, all the way through to Florida, and obviously it's exploded on the East Coast as well. And so this is the fastest growing sport in all of North America.
And it's starting to grow in West Virginia as well. And we look at programs that's in the state of West Virginia, and the 2 top programs, coincidentally enough, is right here in the University City of Morgantown. Brian Houck is the head coach for UHS. They're 4-0. Jeremy Bennett, the assistant head coach for West Virginia, they are 4-0 or 5-0 at Morgantown High School. So a little unique situation there here in the University City when it comes terms to the Mohawk Bowl coming up later this season.
Yeah, the Mohawk Bowl is the last game of the season. Oh, there is a shot and a score.
And a good opportunity for West Virginia there. They tie this one up at 5 apiece.
I think that was Jake Brandenburg, if I'm not mistaken, number 97. Was that Brandenburg? Yeah.
Mountaineer goal number 97, Jake Brandenburg.
So now we're knotted up at 5 apiece here in the second quarter. West Virginia just rallying back, and Illinois had advantages and had that opportunity to take advantage of the penalties that took place just a few moments ago. They took their first lead. Now we're tied up at 5 apiece, and now Illinois has possession of the ball. But as we were mentioning, the Mohawk Bowl is one of the unique scenarios, games in the state of West Virginia in any sport between Morgantown University, crosstown rivals. I also plan on having coverage of that game on this network if you are interested in joining.
Oh yeah, I'd love to be there.
So
a little bit of trivia for you, Taryn. You'll love this trivia. So they're the same person who started lacrosse at West Virginia University in 1971.
There's a shot, goes a little too far right.
That same person also started lacrosse at University High School and Morgantown High School. So all 3 programs were started by the same individual, and that's Coach Jeff Dreisbach. Of course, he's the only person in the West Virginia Lacrosse Hall of Fame here at WVU. And so we honored Coach Dreisbach last year, and that was long overdue, honestly.
Very great ceremony indeed. And, he's been one of the godfathers, if you will, of the sport, the father of lacrosse in the state of West Virginia. He's done so much for the state, and he continues to do so much at Preston High School. The Knights have been successful in recent years, and they continue to have that success surrounding Dreisbach and his staff, and he does an amazing job, doesn't he?
He does. He's the man. Redbeard. I hope he's listening. There's a shot that stopped. Actually, it was blocked. That shot was blocked.
It's senior day. He's our super senior.
He is the super senior. He is the penultimate super senior. All right, the ball is being brought up by Bulow. That's the Illini goalie, and now he passes up to number 25, the long stick midfielder, and he passes over to one of the attackmen who's way high up on top. Now the midfielders are coming on for the Illini, and they're going to set up their offense. The game is tied. We've got about 4 minutes left in the first half. 52 seconds on the shot clock, and the Illini are setting up their offense.
If you're just now tuning in, welcome to the Evansdale campus of West Virginia University. Tara Malone, Jim Mills.
There's a shot over the cage.
As we welcome you to this afternoon game between Illinois and West Virginia. West Virginia 4-4, Illinois 2-4. Both teams trying to recover a loss from JMU this weekend, which the Dukes are 7-1, and they'll probably move up in the rankings later this week.
Well, they're flirting with the top 10, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're almost in the top 10. There's a shot and a score. And that was a beautiful shot about 10 yards in direct center, right above the crease, and that shot unfortunately got past Gager. That shot by number 40, and number 40 for the Illini had a goal earlier in the game, and that goal is on by Grant Bulow.
Illini goal number 40, Grant Bulow.
So here we are yet again, a unique situation for the Mountaineers. They're down by 1 in the second quarter. And this happened earlier in the quarter after a double penalty. Dual penalty flags came out on the field, and we had 2 players sit out for a few moments. And it's been a back and forth seesaw battle in Morgantown.
Well, we won that face-off. That's good news.
We're about an hour.
And that was a pass that was not handled by the Mountaineers. That's unfortunate. There's yet another turnover.
We're about an hour into game time already. Just about 15 minutes shy from an hour. And of course, this one started up early.
Illini had the ball, and they're going to dodge, now pass back up top. Ball's on the ground and scooped up by 28. There's 40 Bulow, Grant Bulow. He must be related to the goalie. I'm assuming they're brothers.
Now here's the question. If Illinois is successful at getting a shot in here, do you take a timeout if you're Brian Haug?
Well, there's a shot and there's a score, so you're going to get the answer here. That was a score right on the crease. The poor defensive play by the Mountaineers led to that goal, and that goal was number 20. That's Kevin McCarthy.
Illinois goal is number 20, senior Kevin McCarthy.
So West Virginia now trails by as much as 2. This is their largest deficit of the afternoon. And this is Illinois' first biggest lead of the contest. West Virginia led by as much as 2. Illinois is led by as much as 2. So the seesaw battle continues as they win this face-off as well. And this is something that West Virginia cannot allow as they go into halftime, as the loose ball is on the turf.
That shot was partially deflected by Gager. That'll be a fresh 80 for the Illini. That's one of the problems with deflections. It's nice that Gager gets another save, but the Illini get another fresh 80 on the shot clock. They're going to spin it around. They're looking for there's a beautiful dodge right on the crease, but closed by Hogan. There's a shot that gets past Gager.
Now you got to think about taking that timeout. Momentum is fully on Illinois' side. And just like that, Brian Hauk does take that timeout. So with a few moments remaining in the second quarter, Illinois has taken advantage and they have pulled away by 3. West Virginia looking to trim away the deficit when we come back next.
It's 8-5. Let's go. Come on, boys. Pick it up.
Well, welcome back to the second quarter of play. Jim Mills had to step away, so Tara Malone filling in for Jim Mills. And we've had an exciting first half. Illinois has trimmed away the deficit. They've taken the lead, and they're up by 3 with about 50 seconds to go in this first half of action. So the back and forth seesaw battle does continue on in Morgantown. Ball will go out of bounds. There'll be possession in favor of the Mountaineers. Oh, no, it's going to be possession Illinois, so they're going to have the chance to pull away even further with less than a minute to go to play here. So they're going to get their offense set. Personnel is going to come out on the field. And they're going to hold the ball for the last shot here in the opening half of play. West Virginia led by as much as 2, but they're down by 3. 8-5 is the score here in the second quarter. Of course, Illinois 2-4 on the season. Had a loss to JMU yesterday. West Virginia fell to JMU on Friday. Shots a little too far right on the ground, and that's going to do it for the quarter. At the end of the second quarter, Illinois leads this one 8-5. West Virginia's got to find something to get going in the second half if they want to pick up this win here in Morgantown. 8-5 is your score. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to the second half here in Morgantown, West Virginia. West Virginia versus Illinois. The second half is here underway in Morgantown. As we say, hello again, friends, and welcome back into Morgantown, West Virginia. Tara Malone, Jim Mills will be back with us in just a moment. Well, West Virginia led by as much as 2 at 2-0. Illinois has battled their way back, and then a dual penalty allowed Illinois to take the lead. They were up by 3. 8-5 is your score here at the break as we welcome you back here in Morgantown. Well, as we mentioned before, West Virginia has had that opportunity for success, and we are now getting ready to take a live look at the field yet again. Jim Mills will be back with us in just a few moments. He had to move his vehicle, of course, and parking is a very unique situation here in Evansdale. So we talked about matchup issues, and West Virginia, they had that opportunity to pull away, but a dual penalty has allowed Illinois to battle their way back, take the lead, and add to the lead. It's 8-5, and now the opportunity exists for West Virginia to rally back from down 3, and try to tie things up here in the second half of play. So, of course, teams are stretching out, getting ready for the second half. So, Illinois, they've been battle-tested throughout the course of the year. They're 2-4 so far on the year. They had a loss to JMU just yesterday. West Virginia, on the other hand, they've been battle-tested as well. Their only losses come from top 25 teams across the country, including Tennessee, Florida, JMU, and Liberty. So a loss here today would most definitely put West Virginia in a weird spot. They haven't had back-to-back losses for a couple years as well. So a really weird situation for West Virginia here today, being down by 3 here on Senior Day. We'll take a quick break, and when we return, it'll be the second half of play here in the third quarter. This is the WVU Lacrosse Network here on YouTube Live. Welcome back to the second half action between West Virginia and Illinois here at the campus of West Virginia University in Evansdale. As we welcome you back into today's broadcast, Terry Malone, Jim Mills will be with us in just a moment. Well, Illinois battled their way back, and they were down by as much as 2 from West Virginia's early success. But meanwhile, West Virginia had some falls with a few penalties, which allowed Illinois to battle back. They lead by 3, 8-5, as we welcome back Jim Mills. As you had to do some rearranging with your vehicle. Probably a hop,
I went to
skip,
the University of Police. Taryn, I mentioned in 1983 I lived at Towers, and I can still remember all the parking tickets I got from University Police. And I think I still have a few of those I have to pay off. There's Danny Cardeni with the ball. He loses possession, but then scoops it up. Now he passes over, and there's going to be a shot on goal, and that goes wide of the cage.
So what took place in the first half that was really the pivotal point for Illinois to battle their way back?
Well, those 2 locked-in penalties sure didn't help us. We had a 1-minute lock-in for, I'm not sure. It was an unsportsmanlike call. I'm not sure who it was on. Mike Murphy took that penalty, I think, and then, or maybe Chase Elsis did. And then we had kind of a hit, a cross-check hit, or a legal body check hit. They were both locked in. I mean, that kills a team when a ref does that to you, and I'm not sure they deserve to be locked in, but that's what happened.
And speaking of killing a team, Illinois has killed the momentum for West Virginia. They're down by 3, and it's been a unique opportunity because we haven't seen West Virginia really rally back from being down 3 in the course of the season. This is not last year's team. Last year's team has done that throughout the course of the season in the 2023 campaign. But West Virginia, they haven't rallied back, so this is going to be a really
saved by Gager,
eye-opening performance for both squads if West Virginia really wants this opportunity to pull away with this win.
Jackson Smith with the ball, and he's got wheels. He's taking it all the way down. He's going to pass it to Randalls below GLE, and the Mountaineers are going to settle and bring in their other midfielders. So that's the one way to have a successful clear, is to get a midfielder with the ball that has great speed, and that's exactly what the Mountaineers did there. And there's a pass to Stone. That's going to be blocked by the Illini. Another shot and a score.
Second chance opportunity, and he puts it in.
That was a rebound that came off the goalie and picked up by Jackson Smith. The Mountaineers narrow that gap just a little bit.
So in basketball, they call that
Mountaineer goal number 36, Jackson Smith.
So in basketball, they would call that an offensive board, an offensive rebound. So
yeah, that's exactly right.
West Virginia had that offensive rebound here. They put one in. It's now 8-6. The Illini still on top, but West Virginia trying to trim away this deficit here.
So there's a face-off, the ground ball. The Mountaineers, there's a push that was not called. Now it is called by Jeff Thompson. He was staring right at it. You would think he would call it. That's going to be a push on the Illini. The Mountaineers are going to retain possession.
Now what's going on here? As the officials will have a conversation on the field. And now the change of possession goes back to West Virginia. Seems like they don't know where it's going to go.
It is staying with the Mountaineers, and they have the ball, and now Will Stone has the ball.
So,
Senior Will Stone. Can't say enough about him.
So this is an opportunity for West Virginia to rally back. If they can get one in here, then they're back in this game. But if they can't get an opportunity to get one in, then the Illini would try to pull away and just really play that upset role for the Mountaineers here on Senior Day.
It's Graham Miller with the ball. He's passing over to Andrew Curtis, affectionately known as White Lightning. There's going to be a turnover. Not sure exactly what happened there.
He was giving it back to them after he originally called that it was for Illinois. Well, the back-and-forth seesaw battle continues on in Morgantown. 8-6 is your score in the third quarter. Welcome back in. Terry Malone along with Jim Mills, of course, here on the WVU Lacrosse Network. And this has been really an interesting game. A few penalties has really been the pivotal point of this ball game. West Virginia led by as much as 2. Illinois led by as much as 3. And now it's a 2-point game in the third. And it's kind of like basketball. It's a game of runs, really. And it really is in lacrosse as well. I mean, if you have momentum on your side, just a couple little things will be going your way, and then that's the opportunity for success for each team.
There's a shot that's saved by Gager. That was a beautiful save. The ball was a little bit hidden. You know, there were a couple players right between the shooter and Gager, but Gager had his eye right on it, and that was a fantastic save. Now the Mountaineers bringing it upfield. Ball is down on the ground. No one seems to want to pick it up. Mountaineers Chase Elsis picks it up off the ground, and now he crosses midfield and brings it down on the offensive end of the field. Not sure why Elsis is running all the way to the cage. He's going to stay on the offensive. Now he's going to come off. Tries to get an advantage. And that was a beautiful play by him. He was kind of deceptive there. There's now Mountaineers have numbers. There's a shot that goes over the cage. That was a little bit of a deceptive play by Chase Elsis, so I'll give him credit where credit is due. He kind of sauntered down near the crease. He kind of hung out there for a second, and then he just sprinted to the midfield line where he got an advantage in bringing in the third midfielder.
So join us on April 6th, night game in Pittsburgh. It's the rivalry of it's the continuation of the backyard brawl. Myself and Dr. Mills will have coverage of that, of course, live.
Shot wide of the cage.
We'll have that live at the Pitt Sports Dome in Pittsburgh, and that's the famous sports dome that everybody's been talking about. I haven't even been in there. Have you?
I have. I've been there a few times. The Mountaineers haven't had much success in the new sports dome. You know, we played Pitt there a couple years ago in the playoffs and lost by 7. There's a shot saved by Bulow. That is offside over back and now picked up by the Mountaineers. The Mountaineers are going to get to keep the ball.
So after this, 3 more games on the regular season slate. Of course, WVU travels to Buffalo, and then they'll take on New Hampshire to cap off the regular season. So playoff opportunities still exist.
34, Mulaney loses the ball to the goalie, and now the Illini are going to bring it up. Mountaineers on their 9-man ride. They're trying to ride the ball. Now the goaltender's going to bring it up. Oh, and he's
tripped up. There's going to be a fight in a scrum. He's going to try to get back there on defense, and they'll lose ball.
No call on the trip. Now out of bounds to the Mountaineers. I can't believe they didn't call that trip.
That was a crazy sequence of events, that's for sure.
All right, well, I'm going to be quiet. I'll be quiet on that one. All right, there's Tyler Randalls with the ball, and he's going to take it he's going to dodge toward the cage. No, he now passes across to Altland. Now Altland brings it up top to Mulaney.
Whew. Boy, we're really heated up now.
There's Will Stone looking for an advantage. Now that's saved by Bulow. So the Illini goalie is playing a very good game. Now the ball is dropped by the Illini. Pull, and now it goes out of bounds off the Illini. Looked like it was off the Mountaineers, but called off the Illini.
Possession's going to be for the Mountaineers. Now which way is he going to pick?
So Jeff Thompson's confused. I think he may need to take his Aricept. He needs a little confusion medicine. All right, so now we're going to have to see what we can do on defense here. There's Sean Kenworthy on the ball, and now it passes over the Illini number 18. He's going to dodge from way up high, and he's got wheels. He runs right past Flynn, and he shoots and scores.
Opportunities like that for Illinois has been really the turning point of this entire game, and really the possession was just so weird just to see it left, right, which way is it, you know? We're not blaming the officials, but if you're going to make a call, get it right.
Illini goal number 18, Philip Mackey.
Like we're not going to blame the officials, but if you're going to make a call, make it stand. There's no replay, of course, but still that was
face-off win, a great pass. Now closed the door by Colangelo. Colangelo playing good defense there. The Mountaineers got burned on that last goal. The Illini, Mackey, he dodged from way high in the high wing. He was almost at midfield when he started running, and he was running at full speed, and the Mountaineers just couldn't pick him up. There was no slide. There was no man on the ball. They just let him run right to the crease, shoot, and score. I mean, it was, I don't know. I don't know what happened. Our defense was almost asleep.
So just like halftime, West Virginia's down by 3 yet again. And they've got to find something here, some footing on the offensive side if they want to have any chance of beating this 2-4 Illinois squad that's playing the upset role on Senior Day.
Mountaineer Hogan having trouble handling the ball in the clear, and now the ball was picked up by the Illini, but then knocked out of bounds, and so the Mountaineers have the ball back in a series of turnovers. There's a flag down. The Mountaineers still have possession. So the Mountaineers are going to have a chance to put the ball in the net and hopefully retain possession. This is going to be a 1-minute penalty. Probably, I don't think it was a push, Taryn. I think it may have been a slash, but we're going to have to see what the refs call.
But this is a really big turning point for West Virginia if they can get one punched in here. They have to take advantage.
Illini, they haven't been in the box today once.
No. So West Virginia really's got to take advantage of this if they want to have any chance of battling their way back.
There's Tyler Randall's looking for an opening. Nothing there. There's 36 Smith, and he shoots and scores. Jackson Smith puts it in the back of the net, and I could see the red of the Mothman's eyes.
Opportunities exist, and they continue to exist as Smith punches it in. It's now a 2-point game, 9-7.
Mountaineer goal number 36, Jackson Smith.
It's now 9-7. The penalty marker was down, and they will have...
It looks like they may have waved off that penalty, so it may have been just a technical penalty that got waved off with the score, Taryn. All right, so the Mountaineers close that gap a little bit. It's now 9-7, I believe.
9-7, yeah.
They're only down by 2.
A shootout in Morgantown, not involving the Mountaineers rifle, but a shootout on the lacrosse field indeed. 9-7, and we're halfway through the third quarter.
6 minutes and 47 seconds left on the third quarter clock, and that face-off won by the Illini. Illini have their third-string midfielders on the field. That's number 80 with the ball. This is the first time I've seen number 80. He steps out of bounds. He doesn't know where the out-of-bounds line is. He thought it was the yellow line. It's actually the blue one. That was Brett Fenzel with the ball. He's looking for an opening. He passes. There's a give and go to Fenzel, and Fenzel couldn't handle that pass back to him. Picked up by Randalls. Randalls has the ball on the low wing at GLE. Randall's in the shadow of Bennett Tower. That's Tower 1 for all you older folks like me. You know, that's Tower 1.
I just know them as towers. Now, what classifies it as a tower? That's a good question.
I think it's a large building, Taryn. That's what qualifies it as a tower.
Is there like
There's a shot that goes over the net.
Is there like a certain floor count that considers it or that makes it a tower, or is it just by its looks? A little trivia question for the fans out there.
You've got me stumped there. I don't know. All right, so we have a flag down, and we've got an Illini in the box. I didn't see that call, unfortunately, but I'm hoping it was a 1-minute penalty. The Mountaineers are going to be EMO, and they're going to have an opportunity to narrow this gap even further. They're down by 2 here in the latter part of the third quarter.
West Virginia hasn't battled back when they've been down by 3 all season long. So this is really a new turning point for West Virginia if they want to have success on the field.
There's a flag down. It's going to be called on the Mountaineers. I think that's going to be called a push, if I'm not mistaken. So that's unfortunate to get a penalty while you're on EMO.
Well, what do we got here?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a clipped call, you know, so it's going to be a 1-minute penalty on Jackson Smith. Well, that's unfortunate.
But he gets the goal, now he's got the penalty.
Now we're going to have even strength, and the Illini are going to have the ball with a fresh 80 seconds. And they're going to be man up probably for about 20 seconds at the end of this sequence of events here.
Well, Illinois is trying to capitalize on opportunities here, and they're trying to have that cushion so West Virginia doesn't rally back, and this is an opportunity for them yet again.
The Mountaineers are in their man-down defense. They're playing zone, even though it's 5v5 right now, I think. There's a ground ball right on the crease. That's a dangerous place for a ground ball. The Illini are trying to scoop it up, but they can't get it. It's still on the ground. There's a huge scrum. Now they get it and he shoot, and that's a save by Gager. Rebounded out and picked up by 18. 18 shoots from 30 yards out, and that's saved by Gager.
So they tried to golf putt it into the net, couldn't get it to go. They took a couple shots. Gager was really responsive to get that stopped. Back-to-back times.
There's Mike Murphy with a shot right to the goalie and the right side stick high, and he saves that easily. Comes back down. Murphy needed a bounce shot there. There was an offside maybe there, but that wasn't called.
A lot of things was and was not called here today.
So the Mountaineers had a golden opportunity and they wasted it. With an EMO, they were EMO and they got a penalty. They went to even strength, and now we're back to full strength on both sides, but the Illini have the ball. There's 50 seconds left on the shot clock here in the third quarter. Oh, that is just a poor call. Oh my gosh. We've got multiple flags down on the field, and that's probably going to be a push call. I expect it to be a push. That's going to be on sophomore midfielder Graham Miller. He takes a knee. Miller, one of the cone heads from last year. 3 freshman cone heads. Miller, that was can you name the cone heads, Taryn? I've asked you this before. That was Graham Miller and Tyler Randalls and Will Letters. Those were the 3 cone heads from last year. Those were freshman midfielders. Now Randalls has been moved from midfield to attack, and he took Jarrett Gager's place. Those were huge shoes to fill, that's for sure. So there's 3 minutes and 15 seconds left on the third quarter clock. The Illini have the ball. There's a shot. Goes wide of the cage with 57 seconds on the shot clock.
So you know how, like, on ESPN College Football Gamecast, they have, like, the Geico trivia? Well, we need, like, a Kegler's trivia of the night, and you just need to pop out these little questions for our fans, because you come up with some good stuff. Not scripted, of course. There's no scripts right in front of us whatsoever.
No. Scripts are for people that have it together, Taryn.
Are you saying we don't have it together?
That's all I'm saying.
Well, if you're just now tuning in, we welcome you to Morgantown, West Virginia. Tara Mullen along with Jim Mills. West Virginia led by as much as 2 at 2-0. Illinois has battled their way back, of course, and opportunities continue to exist for the Illini, of course, and it's a possession after possession battle. And, you know, Illinois has that cushion. Illinois has that cushion to really start to pull away here if they wanted to, but West Virginia has had opportunities for success all afternoon long, and we'll see if they can continue on here.
So it's still 9-7. The Mountaineers are still down by 2. We're late in the third quarter. There's 60 seconds on the shot clock, and the Mountaineers now have the ball on their offensive end of the field. We've got our second line of midfielders out there. That's Graham Miller with the ball out of Oakdale High School in Frederick County. We've got Will Letters out on the field. He's from North Jersey at Voorhees High School. And so we've got our second line midfielders out there, and they are fantastic. White Lightning's on the field, number 40. That's Andrew Curtis, and so we've mixed our lines up a little bit today, trying to make something happen on offense. Our offense was so stagnant on Friday night they couldn't get the ball anywhere near the net. There's Will Stone with a left-handed shot that goes wide of the cage. 26 seconds on the shot clock. So you were talking about the upcoming games. We've got Pitt on April 6th. That's at 6 p.m. Join us here on the YouTube channel. WVU Men's Lacrosse YouTube channel. We'd be happy to share that game with you. We're hoping to win the backyard brawl, but Pitt is better this year, so we're going to have our hands full.
Just like we do here today.
The following week, there's a shot by Altland. That was a beautiful shot, but saved by Bowler.
And scrum.
And the refs are going to stop that ball. There is some kind of illegal procedure on the Illini. They're going to call the ball turnover to the Mountaineers.
Hey, we'll take it, right?
The Illini are not happy about that call. Bulo was right inside the crease. It seemed like there was a crease violation, but they didn't call that. They called it a procedure call on the Illini.
The fans were about ready to jump out of their seats, and they were like, oh, okay, we'll take it. So opportunities continue to exist. West Virginia's got to find something offensively if they want to have any chance of battling their way back. As I mentioned before, and there's the opportunity.
There was a shot, if I'm not mistaken, that was Will Stone with the shot and score. Was it Will?
Looked to be Will Stone that got that goal. So West Virginia now down by 1 at 9-8. An opportunity, and
Mountaineer goal
the rifle
4,
shoots.
Will Stone with an assist from number 8, Will Letters.
So the Mountaineer takes the shot of the rifle. West Virginia down by 1. The comeback continues in Morgantown. So this is something that we haven't seen all year long. West Virginia rallying and having that adversity and battling with it. But now they're only down by 1. Now we saw that a little bit. We got teased a little bit in the Florida game as we traveled down to Gainesville. We were teased with that opportunity for West Virginia to battle their way back, and they led in the beginning stages of the fourth quarter, if I do remember correctly.
Well, it was pretty close. I think it was 8-7 Florida, but we were right on their tail, that was for sure. But you know, Florida got 3 quick transition goals, and the Mountaineers, you could see the wind come out of their sail a little bit, and that's what happened there. But you know, our 4 losses are against top 16 teams, and you know, that's something to take note of. Well, that's the end of the third quarter, so the Mountaineers narrow that gap in the third quarter. It's 9-8 here in Morgantown. We're looking forward to a really close game here going into the fourth quarter. Stay with us.
Well, we welcome you back to the campus of Evansdale here at West Virginia University. 9-8 is your score. Illinois is on top. The comeback would be a miracle if this took place for West Virginia.
A miracle, I don't know. That's a strong word.
A Mountaineer miracle.
It would be fantastic if we could win this game, because that would put us on the plus side of our win-loss numbers. We're now 4-4 It's been even. I keep mentioning, our 4 losses, but let's talk about those 4 losses for a second. We lost to Florida when they were ranked 7th in the nation at that time, or 8th, I think, maybe. There's a shot by Altland. Oh, that way it went just slightly right of the cage. We then lost to Tennessee. Tennessee's had a great year. They're still undefeated, if I'm not mistaken, and they're ranked in the top 10. I think they're 10th in the nation. There's a shot that trickled in.
The comeback is complete. West Virginia has rallied from 3 down and has tied this one up at 9 apiece.
Mountaineer goal number 7, Augie Flynn.
As Augie Flynn comes up with a big goal for West Virginia. We're knotted up at 9 apiece, and we have got a showdown in the University City of Morgantown.
That might be a hat trick from Augie Flynn. I think he had a couple early goals in the first quarter, so he's had a great game.
Possession's going to be with the Mountaineers. Momentum continuing to swing in the favor of West Virginia.
We got popcorn down the wrong way there.
And Dr. Jim Mills has been eating popcorn with the excitement because we have got a really good show.
Yeah, I have popcorn in my lung. That's no good.
Here's a side note. You don't have to hit the slider. Just hit that button. You're muted.
Hit the mute button.
I've been coughing all day and hitting that button.
Can't tell you how many people in my life have wanted to hit that mute button. So there's the Mountaineers picked up the ball. That's a beautiful ground ball by Rock Altland. He's got little space there, but he dumps it off to Stone. And now a long pass across field to the midfielder line, and the refs are going to stop the action.
What do we got here?
I don't know.
I think he said something about the shot clock.
They're going to run the shot clock down a little bit. It was at 65. They're running it down to about 50, I think. They're going to take the shot clock down to 48. And now we're going to start. I'm not sure I've attended an MCLA game without some kind of shot clock issue. So we have brand new Daktronic shot clocks. They're state of the art, and I'm telling you what, we've almost got it together.
Put that on the bingo card. Shot clock issues. That should be the free space.
There's a yard sale. Beautiful stick check by the Illini. They pick up the ball and run down the other way.
So transition, they can't get it to go.
There's going to be a turnover. So they can't handle the ball, and now the Mountaineers are going to bring it up the other way.
So they tried to attack and transition. They couldn't get the ball to go into the hands of, I do believe that's 32. Believe it or not, I do not have a telescope on my face, so I can't really see.
Oh, that's a tough
Ooh.
pass, but backed up by Altland. Altland was there to save the day, and now he's got space, and he's going to look for the shot. He shoots, and he goes over the cage.
Woo. If he hit that, that would have been awesome. I think this place would have been electric.
It would have erupted, that's for sure.
The atmosphere of this game took a complete 180. Fans was completely quiet through the course of the third quarter. West Virginia has came back down 3. We're tied up at 9 apiece. Illinois led by as much as 9-6.
Jackson Smith on the crease. He
There it
scores!
is! Comeback
An
complete.
unassisted goal by Jackson Smith puts the Mountaineers up by 1.
And the Mountaineers going to fire that rifle yet again. Maybe.
And it's time for tea and crumpets at the Blennerhassett Hotel.
The Mountaineer getting ready to fire that rifle down here on the field. And, of course, we mentioned it before.
Mountaineer goal, unassisted, number 36, Jackson Smith.
And the excitement, you can hear it in all of our voices because we haven't seen it happen all year long. But West Virginia has rallied from being down 3, has retaken the lead here in the fourth quarter of play.
So it's 10-9, and we're in the fourth quarter, and so that's a good time to go ahead, I think, is the fourth quarter, Taryn. Let's see if we can protect that lead. Unfortunately, we lost the face-off, and so the Mountaineers are now on defense, and let's see if our defense can hold tight.
So just like a year ago, it was a close game in Illinois, and it's becoming a close one here in Morgantown here today.
Bobby O'Neill was way out of position, but then he recovered, and that's good. Now we got Mike Murphy on defense. There's a shot saved by Gager. So Gager's standing tall in the cage.
So last year's game, West Virginia won that
Errant pass. It's going to go over back. That is going to be over back. Now picked up by Altman. Altman's got space and he's got numbers. He's looking for a pass, but nothing there. He's going to settle.
So last year, West Virginia won this contest 14-12 in Illinois when it was a absolute, seemed to be a blizzard, blizzard-like conditions when it felt like it was negative 200 degrees. But here, a nice spring day in the University City of Morgantown has sprung the Mountaineers out to a 10-9 lead.
So West Virginia has their second-line midfielders on the field. Of course, they're starting attackman. There's Altman with the ball. He's looking for an outlet. There's Graham Miller, and now over to Curtis. Curtis now back down to Stone. Stone's going to trade positions with Randalls. They're mirroring each other. There's a beautiful shot by Stone that just goes a little wide.
So if you're West Virginia, you want to chew off the clock, but you want to also punch one in to have that little cushion as you continue on here in the fourth quarter.
Unfortunately, the Mountaineers didn't have that backed up, and that's going to be a turnover. Oh, and there was almost an intercepted pass. Now the ball's way up in the air and is now on the ground. There's a scrum right around the restraining line. No one seems to have it. It's still on the ground. No one still seems to have it. Still on the ground. Now it's going to be stopped by the ref.
Cue the music, let the bodies hit the floor, and that was true to what we just saw here on the field.
Jeff Thompson calls that a push on the Mountaineers, and so the Illini are going to have possession.
I think he really wants to see an overtime game today. I really don't, because I am cold. I am tired. I've got 80,000 basketball pictures to go through. Literally 80,000, I'm not even joking.
That's a few pictures.
That's quite a few. The state basketball tournaments had me busy indeed, but 80,000 pictures, that's...
So Thompson's call, the push on the Mountaineers, was overturned by the head ref. There's a shot. There's a beautiful shot and score! That was Augie Flynn with an assist from Will Stone. And the Mountaineers go up by 2, baby. Woo!
A great play in transition has allowed the Mountaineers to add to their success. They now lead 11-9 here in the fourth quarter of play. And the environment is becoming electric here in Morgantown.
Well, that was a fantastic ball handling set of events there. I mean, that was a beautiful assist from Will Stone. He hit Augie Flynn right on the crease, and the Mountaineers go up by 2.
And now the fans are into it. It's a chilly day here in the northern part of the state, but the atmosphere here is electric in the University City.
The Illini pick up that ball, and they're going to bring it down the other way. They win that faceoff.
West Virginia has taken a complete 180. Illinois hasn't scored a single goal here in the fourth quarter. They need to think about taking a timeout here soon if they want to stop West Virginia's momentum.
Nice to see Justin Densberger back out on the field. He was on that faceoff. We lost the faceoff, but it's good to see Berger back out there. Berger got injured on Friday night, and that was unfortunate. It looks like he's doing okay though. So the Mountaineers on defense, a senior-laden defense, and we've got multiple seniors on the field right now, including 45 Chase Elsis. We've got 29 Dave Colangelo. We've got, of course, number 17 Danny Cardeni, number 99 Connor Hogan, 32 Sean Kenworthy. These are all seniors. There's going to be a turnover on the Illini. The Mountaineers are going to get that ball back, and they're up by 2, and so that's fantastic.
So stay tuned for after the game. We're going to try to get Brian Houck over here to have a couple comments after this game. Just if West Virginia is successful here on the field here today.
There's a bad pass with an interception by the Illini. They're going to bring it right upfield, and there's going to be numbers. The Mountaineers collapse that defense around that ball carrier, and now the ball is passed out, and the Illini are going to settle.
So Illinois trying to have some type of opportunity to rally their way back. They're in the opposite position of West Virginia was in a quarter ago.
So our Mountaineer mascot is Braden Adkins. He's the new Mountaineer mascot, and he is here today, and it's fantastic to have the Mountaineer here at our lacrosse game.
And there's a shot by Illinois, and that goes in. Don't go away, folks. We have a close one here in Morgantown. 11-9.
Who was that scored that one? That's 18, I think.
I do believe it was 18, and I mistake. It's 11-10. 1 point game here in Morgantown, fourth quarter, with just about 8 minutes to go here in this contest. And this is really cooking up to be a really good ending here in Morgantown. So here we go, face off yet again. Illinois is going to try to pounce on it.
Illini goal number 18, Phil Mackey.
It looks to be a push. Possession arrow is going to go in favor of West Virginia. And I say possession arrow, and I'm still thinking basketball. Possession's going to be in favor of West Virginia, and there's going to be a personnel swap. And here we go yet again.
So the Mountaineers have the ball, and they have the lead, but it's a narrow lead. It's 11-10. They're only up by 1, and we're about in the mid portion of the fourth quarter. If I'm not mistaken, there's 7 minutes and 40 seconds left on the fourth quarter clock. That's Jackson Smith with the ball. He passes over to Will Stone. Will Stone now dodges. He shoots, and that's a beautiful save.
That's really a close call there.
Yulo. Illini goalie, he has done a good job in the cage today.
There he goes again on the ground, and West Virginia's got this opportunity.
That was a great ride and a defensive hit. And, I'm so surprised the ref didn't throw a flag on that. That was he stood tall, but that was a clean hit.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the correct decision by the ref.
So if you're West Virginia, you want to limit your shots, but you want to get something in there to have that cushion, but at the same time, you want to chew away that clock. We got about 7 minutes to go here in this contest. West Virginia only up by 1, so you really got to think that chew clock offense.
There's a shot by Jackson Smith. Jackson gets another shot on goal, and that goes in. And take it up to Mach 2, General Yeager. That's another Mountaineer goal.
The shot's fired in Morgantown. The crowd is pumped up. The Mountaineer is in it, and so are we.
Mountaineer goal number 36, Jackson Smith.
12-10, West Virginia on top. So once again, they've tied their biggest lead of the night at 2. West Virginia started out 2-0 here in Morgantown to begin things out in the first quarter. Now they're up 12-10 like nothing even happened. So 6.5 to go here in this contest, and Morgantown, West Virginia feeling it. They have possession of the ball yet again.
So the Mountaineers have the ball, and they're going to bring it down to their offensive side of the field. And, as much as we have possession, we have control of this game. And valuing possession is almost everything in lacrosse. It's actually everything in basketball and most sports, honestly. Possession's important. Ren Baker, our athletic director, said just the other day about when he was talking about hiring a new basketball coach, about how important it is to value possession and how important it is to have a very good defense. And that's true for lacrosse as well.
Not only that, but this has been a game of runs
There's
here.
A shot.
Ooh.
A little wide of the cage. Backed up well by the Mountaineers.
This has been a game of runs here really today. West Virginia had a lot of penalty issues in the first half. They had a couple guys sit out for a few moments. And then that really allowed Illinois to have that big lead with 3 points. They were up by 3. West Virginia in the second half has really opened the door and has slammed it into the faces of the Illini. And they're up by 2.
17 seconds on the shot clock, Taryn. I'm sorry, we're just a little late. Mountaineers are going to have to get something together here. Curtis passes way across the field. There's going to be a flag down.
And the ball's going to go out of bounds. So let's see what the flag is here. Substitutions are being made on both sides of the field.
That's a 30-second push penalty on number 25, it looks like, for the Illini. So this is going to be a 30-second EMO that the Mountaineers are going to have. And let's see if we can get a couple shots on goal here in this 30 seconds. So we have a fresh 80 on the shot clock, and we've got a 30-second penalty for EMO. That's senior Dave Lipinski with the ball. He passes over to Stone, now back to Lipinski. Lipinski over to Kevin Mullaney.
A nice grab there,
Mullaney's
too.
been quiet today. He passes way down to Will Stone. There's a beautiful centering pass, and that couldn't be handled by Smith. It was a little high for him. Now the Illini stop it, and they're going to take over, and they're going to burn this penalty.
You know, it's really cliche to say, but that was the one, right? That was the one that West Virginia really wants to get back. They had a really nice look there, but just couldn't capitalize on getting handle of that ball.
I'll tell you what, 20 had a clear line to the cage.
Yeah, and he didn't take
and
it
he
either.
turned around.
Yeah,
he turned
didn't
around and
take it.
passed it backward. Why didn't he look forward?
That was a very questionable move by him because he had a nice look, and it was just a 1v1 matchup against Skager, and he could have had some success right there to be down by 1. But instead, he settles, and here we go with the Illini trying to get things set on offense.
The Mountaineers have a little cushion. We're up by 2. And we're
4 minutes to play here in the
4 minutes left in the game, so we're getting kind of late here on the game clock, and we're up by 2. Thank God for that, a little insurance that we have a lead by 2 here late.
But this is something we haven't seen all year where West Virginia has
Ball's on the
rallied.
ground, now scooped up by the Mountaineers. They're going to bring it down the other way. Oh, now the ball's down on the ground again, and now it's going to be picked up by the Illini. Now the Illini have numbers. They're looking for a pass. There's 20 with the shot, and that's saved by Gager.
They had a look, couldn't capitalize. Gager was there, of course, like he always is. One of the best in the country, and that's the reason why right there.
Gager passes over to Hogan. Hogan across field all the way over to Colangelo. They got to hurry. They're going to be late on this transition shot clock. There's a pass up to Augie Flynn, and Flynn passes over to Chelsea. Chase Elsis passes over across field, and now it's going to be picked up by Lipinski. Dave Lipinski, the senior midfielder from Dallas, Pennsylvania, Northeast PA. Now the ball's
Ball
way in the
straight
air.
up in the air.
That was as high as towers. It went as high in the air.
That's what they call a rocket.
Now picked up by the Illini. That's a good ride by the Mountaineers. Will Stone is riding, ladies and gentlemen. And that ball is going to be passed out of bounds, and that's going to be a turnover. No, it's staying inbounds.
Battle for the ball on the ground. Who's going to get it?
Now touched by Hogan and picked up by the Illini. The Illini have the ball, and they're chasing it toward the crease. There's a shot on goal, and it goes
They
wide
had
of
a
the
look,
crease.
and they still have a look.
There's a shot that goes
Oh.
past Gager. That shot gets past Gager.
Gager was on the other side of the goal. He thought it was going to be going to the other side, and just like that, the Illini is trimmed away to deficit. They're down by 1. We have a thrilling contest here in Morgantown with just about under 3 minutes to play, 2.5 to go.
Illini goal number 4, Alex Fesso.
So an opportunity for the Illini to try to trim away this deficit and try to take this to OT is really possible, but 2.5 remains here in the contest in Morgantown and West Virginia trying to pull away.
There's a push, and no call by the ref.
There's a
Oh,
whistle.
he did call it. I beg your pardon. So we'll give him credit. He called it, and
He
that
heard
was
you.
the correct call.
I think he heard you from all the way up down there.
Jackson Smith has the ball, and the Mountaineers are going to bring it down to their offensive end of the field.
This is a unique situation for West Virginia. You have to chew away the clock, but you also have to punch one in for an opportunity.
Timeout, Brian Halk. He's going to talk it over.
That's a good timeout, too. I really do think that's a really good timeout to use to get your offense set to try to chew away this clock as you're in the closing stages of the contest.
Agreed.
So if you're just now joining us, we welcome you back to Morgantown, West Virginia. Terry Malone, Jim Mills on a call for this contest between West Virginia and Illinois. Illinois has had a lot of opportunities, and opportunities existed when West Virginia had dual penalties that allowed 2 players to sit out for a few moments. Illinois punched that ticket and has extended their lead. They were up by 3. West Virginia has closed the gate in the second half, and they have retaken the lead. They were up by as much as 2 goals. Now they're up by 1 with about 2 minutes to play here in Morgantown.
Taryn, who's the player of the game? You know,
All the seniors. It's senior day, right?
we can't give burritos to all 14 seniors. Can we do that? I guess
Can we give
could.
it to the Mountaineer?
Hey, I'll tell you what.
He's
he
putting in the
he
work
deserves
today.
A burrito.
Shaking hands, shooting guns. I mean, that's what it's all about.
That's for sure.
So we have a thrilling contest here in Morgantown. 2:14 remains in this contest. It's a 1-point game. If you're Brian Halk in that timeout, what are you saying to your players? Go.
Well, I think he wants them to be patient. He wants them to set up their offense. He wants to use the clock, right? We're late here in the fourth quarter, and he wants to get the ball in the cage, right? So let's chew up some time and get a little insurance.
So if you add that insurance, then it's going to be favorable for West Virginia.
Smith, he's going to take a shot, and that bounces over the cage, and that's going to go to West Virginia. That was close. Illini were right on that. They were fighting for that possession, but the Mountaineers retained possession. And here we come with Will Stone now behind the cage, 70 seconds on the shot clock.
And an absolute thriller here in Morgantown here today. An excellent game on both sides of the ball. And you would think that this Illinois team is better than what their record indicates. They're a 2-4 team, but by golly, they're tough.
1 minute and 30 seconds on the game clock. That's going to be a turnover.
So here's the opportunity for Illinois to tie.
We couldn't afford a turnover there. That
No.
was a bad time for a turnover.
So we're going to have an absolute crazy finish here in Morgantown either way. Illinois with the ball. They're going to drive down the field. They had a good look, but
Ball's
now
on the ground.
ball's on the turf.
Now they're going to stop play.
So if you're
There's a push on the Mountaineers. It's going to stay with the Illini with a fresh 80 seconds on the clock.
So if you're Illinois, do you have to take a timeout to get your offenses set? Should you take the timeout? And there is the timeout right there. See, I answer my own questions when I ask about the timeouts.
You called it.
So about less than 2 minutes ago here in Morgantown, what's the exact time again? So 1:07 remains here in Morgantown. Illinois with the ball. So the opportunity exists. There's not that much differential between the shot clock and game clock. But the question remains, what's it going to take for Illinois to punch one in here?
Well, let's see. I mean, they have multiple people who have scored today. I think their leading scorer, number 4, has done a great job. Faso, he's had a hat trick today. So they're going to have to put their first line midfield on there, and they're going to have to move the ball around, try to get an open look, and see if they can get it in the net. The Mountaineers, on the other hand, they have a senior-laden defense. Connor Hogan, number 99, this was his first start this year, and he's played the entire game. He stood tall. He's a man among men out there. He's 6'8", 240.
So the fans are into it. $1.07 remains in Morgantown. West Virginia has a 1-point lead. Illinois has possession of the ball with the opportunity to tie.
All right, that's Danny Cardini with on the ball. Now the ball is passed to X, and now back up to the high wing. On the high left wing. Oh my gosh, there was a hit in the face, but that was accidental. It was accidental. The guy slipped.
And now we're going to even have a crazier finish in Morgantown.
Oh my gosh. So Ben Chadwick is going to get called for a shot to the head. But the man slipped. He was falling backward, and unfortunately, Chadwick was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
And if you didn't think this game could get any crazier, it is.
And he locked it in. He locked it in, Taryn. That's not a great thing for the Mountaineers.
48 seconds remains in this game, and that's not what you wanted to see at all. So Illinois here with the opportunity to tie.
Oh, my gosh. A locked-in penalty with just a minute to go in the game.
48 seconds to be specific, but still, that is really game-changing here, especially defensively. You've got to get everybody all crunched up to not allow this game to be tied.
Ball's on the ground. It's on the ground, and there's a scrum. Kenworthy was tripped. There's no call there. The Illini get to save possession.
25 seconds remain. West Virginia out in front.
Great defense by Kenworthy.
Illinois is going to need to take a shot here.
There's a pass over to the wing. He's going to look for the shot. Nothing there. They close that door. There's a shot. Goes wide of the cage.
10 seconds remain. West Virginia needs to stand tall on defense if they want to collect this win in comeback fashion.
Now the ball clock has started. Illinois has the ball. They're looking for a shot.
Desperation shot
top.
here.
There's a pass to the
There's
wing.
the look.
There's a shot, and it gets in!
Tied game. We are going to overtime.
The Illini score with only a second on the game clock. 0.9 seconds.
And a miracle for the Illini to take this game to overtime. They had that look. It was a good look. 1 second remains. And it looks like this one's going to OT.
And Taryn, because that penalty was locked in, that will continue into overtime. All right, so the Mountaineers are man down, and that's the end of the regulation. End of the fourth quarter. It is tied 12-12. We're going to go to overtime here in Morgantown. Stay with us. Can't believe they scored.
And we welcome you back to the University City of Morgantown. 4 quarters wasn't enough, so we'll go to overtime here in the University City of Morgantown as the Mountaineer is shining and getting the fans into it here in the University City of Morgantown.
Well, Taryn, we have a great crowd here today. I know we haven't mentioned the crowd, but I'm going to guess there's about 200 to 300 people here.
So here we are, overtime for the first time this season for West Virginia. Illinois, I don't even know if they had this opportunity throughout the course of the season. So this is a new eye-opening performance between both squads here in the University City this afternoon.
So we have 4 minutes on the first overtime clock. The Mountaineers are man down due to the locked-in penalty.
So this is either a great scenario or a nightmare scenario.
That's Chase Elsis. Nope, the ball is still on the ground. Elsis is down on the ground, and there was a push. It wasn't called. The Illini have the ball. Now the ball's still on the ground. No one seems to want it.
The scrum for the ball continues.
Who's going to get that ball? It's still on the ground and picked up by the Illini. The Illini pass it over to midfield. There's a shot or pass over to the right wing. And the Illini are going to settle.
Time to reset. We welcome you back to Morgantown. It's overtime here in the University City. Illinois had a unique...
Illinois is man up, and they are passing the ball around. They're looking for a window. There's a shot that goes wide of the cage.
Illinois had a unique shot with a second to go to take this to OT. Probably one of the most miracle shots I've ever seen to tie a game. Illinois has an opportunity to win this game with possession of the ball now.
It is sudden death overtime. As soon as that ball goes in the cage, the game is over. And there's a shot right on the cage that was mishandled. Picked up by Elsis. Elsis has the ball.
So here's
He's
West
looking for an outlet pass. And there's a pass that goes over Altland's head. Elsis passes over Altland's head, and the ball goes out of bounds. It's a turnover.
So the shootout is going to continue. Both teams had possession of the ball in this overtime period, and nothing has been decided.
So Illinois has the ball, and they're on their side of the field. They're just above the restraining line, and they're going to begin their offensive set. And there's a shot that goes way over the cage, about 4 feet over the cage and over Gager's head. Illinois is going to take the ball out from X. There's a ball right on the crease. There's a pass over to the wing. Now back behind the crease. Coming up on the opposite side, the Mountaineers playing stingy defense. That's Colangelo, and now Stam is on him. Stam slid to the ball carrier.
35 seconds on the shot.
We have killed that penalty. And that is a
Gager
save
with
by
the
Gager.
impressive save in OT.
And that's
is
the
pivotal.
biggest save of the year, Taryn. Biggest save of the year. That was a beautiful save by Jack Gager. Now Gager's going to bring the ball up.
Here's
and he
West.
passes to Mitty. And thank God it's Jackson Smith because he can handle the ball. Now he passes up to Kenworthy. Kenworthy with the ball passes down to Altman.
So here's the
Altman's going to
timeout.
Yes, timeout, Brian Houck.
This is the timeout of the year. There is 1:34 on the overtime clock. So, Brian Houck, you have the opportunity to win this game. You're telling your players, this is it. This is your opportunity. Here's your set, go. And it's going to take a Mountaineer miracle for a win here today.
Well, you know, when you're in this kind of situation, Taryn, I think this is an age-old kind of adage, and that is that you should put the ball in the hands of your very best player, right? When you're in this situation, the ball should be in the hands of your very best player. Now, the Mountaineers have 3 options that are their very best offensive players. They've got Will Stone, their senior attackman who has over 55 goals in his WVU career. They have Brock Altman, who can fire a rocket from anywhere in the field. And then they've got the wheels, the speed of Jackson Smith. But in my opinion, I think of those 3, the man who's going to make this shot is Jackson Smith. It's going to come down to Jackson Smith.
So a crazy ending here in Morgantown in regulation. A $1:34 to go. The next goal wins it. And we have it here on the WVU Lacrosse Network as we welcome you back in, Terry Malone, Jim Mills. A thrilling finish here in Morgantown, as always. An overtime game. West Virginia was up by 3. Illinois had a miracle shot with a second to go to take it to OT. And this is what sets the picture now.
Jackson Smith with the ball on top. He's dodging down the alley. Nothing there. Goes to Will Stone. Now down to the X and over to Brock Altman. Altman passes over to Mulaney, and Mulaney back to Smith. The Mountaineers have their top 3 midfielders on the field. This is like an EMO. There's a shot from Smith that goes wide of the cage with 30 on the shot clock.
And if you're looking at it from up here, it looked like it was a really good shot, too. So here we go, West Virginia with another opportunity.
30 on the shot
4
clock
to
and
win.
one on the game clock. And there's Tyler Randalls with the ball. He's going to dodge from very low on the wing. We're down to just 18 seconds. The Mountaineers are late. The ball's way high in the air, and it's going to go out of bounds.
Let's get deflected off the goalie. 11 seconds on the shot.
If it was deflected off the goalie, it should be a fresh 80 on the shot clock.
42 seconds remain in overtime.
There's Brock Ullum with the shot. He loses possession. It's going to be picked up by the Illini.
But there's
now
the loose
ball's
ball
on
again.
the ground. Augie Flynn is batting it out, and now it's on the ground. There's going to be picked up. No, it's going to be kicked and picked up by Mulaney. Mulaney has a fresh 80 on the shot clock.
23 seconds to go. West Virginia needs an answer to take this to either get the win or take it to double overtime. If you're West Virginia, you have all the cards right
There's
here.
There's a shot from Altman. It's saved by Bula. Now the Illini are coming down the other way.
6 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3.
Ball's on the ground. No one wants it. And that's the end of the first overtime.
Overtime wasn't good enough, so we play a second on. We play on in Morgantown. The end of the first overtime period. We're knotted up at 12 apiece. We'll be back in just a moment. Well, overtime wasn't good enough, so we play on. The second overtime period in Morgantown, West Virginia. As we welcome you back in for today's broadcast, everybody, thank you ever so much for joining us yet again for the WVU Lacrosse Network. We thank all the 100-plus viewers that has joined us here today for this nice afternoon of lacrosse in the University City. A pivotal face-off here, Dr. Mills.
This is a big one. That's Alex Satkus, who was on the faceoff for the Mountaineers. The ball's on the ground. It was stopped by the refs, and they said there was a procedure call on Satkus, and so the ball's going to be awarded to the Illini. The Illini are going to have the ball first in this second overtime period. It's a sudden death overtime. First goal wins.
This is the first double overtime in the past few years for West Virginia.
The Illini have their starting midfielders on the field, and they are going to spin it around.
So, of course, you're going to have to rely on Jack Gager. He's the man that stirs the drink on defense, of course. He has had a lot of pivotal saves.
Ball's on the ground. The Mountaineers' Sean Kenworthy on the ball. There's a triple team. That's a little dangerous, a triple team. Now Mike Murphy, and now they pass it over to the opposite side.
A little bit of risk and reward for West Virginia. If you can triple team, get the ball turned over.
There's a procedure call on the Illini, and the Mountaineers are going to take over possession.
So
Here comes Jackson
3-0-3.
Smith, and Jackson Smith has wheels, and he's going straight toward the cage. He wants to shoot, but no, he goes behind the cage.
He didn't have the good look. He had three people standing there. It wasn't a good shot. So West Virginia's going to set up on offense for the win. Sudden death. We're in double overtime, knotted up at 12 apiece. First goal wins it.
Tyler Randall's with the ball. He takes it to X. Will Stone's just standing pat. Randall's wants to look for a shot. It's not there. Will Stone now at X. Will's going to dodge from X. He comes up and passes up to Altland.
Yes!
Scores!
That's the game, and West Virginia wins it. The Mountaineer Miracle.
Dallastown puts it in the back of the net, ladies and gentlemen.
As the rifle sounds and the fans are excited, West Virginia has came back from down 3 for the Mountaineer Miracle.
Mountaineer goal number 23.
13-12 is your final score.
With an assist from number 4, senior Will Stone.
An unbelievable cap to the double overtime thriller in the University City. Oh my goodness.
All right, Taryn, well, I'll tell you what, that was a fantastic goal from the pride of Dallastown, and I've never been prouder than I am right now at Brock Altland.
So we're going to stay here with it. We're going to get Brian Houck's initial reaction after this. The team's going to discuss a few things. They're going to do their handshake, and that's going to be it. But, of course, like I said before, we'll get Brian Houck's initial response in this double overtime thriller here in Morgantown. So don't go anywhere. We'll have initial comments here in just a moment. So hold on one second. There is a conversation here at the broadcast booth, so we'll be here to discuss it in just a moment. So here we are back in Morgantown, West Virginia, as they're getting ready to cue Country Roads. As they're getting ready to cue Country Roads, the Mountaineer on the field. No, I don't. So
We'll do it after the line
okay,
here.
so Dr. Mills, just run everybody down to what took place. We're going to go get Brian Houck for initial response, and we'll be right back. So go ahead and talk everybody's ear off about what just took place.
Well, we won this game, Taryn. That was a beautiful thing.
It was a double overtime thriller here in Morgantown, and it was probably one of the most unique games of the year. West Virginia was down by 3. They rallied back. They tied things up. They were down yet again, and then they won it in double overtime. So talk about this matchup, talk about what we have in the future, and then we'll get Brian Hauk here in just a second.
So before we do that, Taryn, if you just don't mind, give me 1 second here. I got like 3 things I'm doing here.
Yeah,
at the
Dr.
same
Mills,
time.
the man, the myth, the legend, doing 20 different things at once. As Country Roads is cued. So West Virginia is cued. We'll get Brian Hauk for initial response. Jim Mills will take it away from here.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're here in Morgantown and we are playing Country Roads. This game was won in the second overtime by Brock Altland on a beautiful shot from the right wing. That's his normal position. It was off an assist from Will Stone, the pride of Lancaster County. And, of course, it's fitting here on Senior Day that Will Stone and Brock Altland, who've been so productive for the Mountaineers over the years, really came away with this beautiful win in double overtime. And we've got all the team out on the field right now, and that's just fantastic. And I want to thank all of you for joining us here in Morgantown today. It's a beautiful day for lacrosse. Lacrosse is growing here in West Virginia, that's for sure. Someday, I can guarantee it, someday, men's lacrosse will be a varsity sport here at WVU. It may not be today, it may not be for the next few years, but lacrosse is gaining steam, and I'm telling you, people, we need your support. Thank you for your support. It means so much. For those of you that love lacrosse and love West Virginia like we all do here, this is the reason we are doing what we're doing. This is a great, great sport at a great, great university. And so join us here in the next few weeks. And next week we have, of course, spring break for Easter break. But then the week after that, on April 6th, we'll be playing the Pitt Panthers. That game is in the Sports Dome on the campus of the University of Pittsburgh up on the hill. So if you're in the Pittsburgh area, come out and see us. We're going to need your support April 6th at 6 p.m. The following weekend, we're going to travel to Buffalo. We'll be in the Buffalo area. And if you live in Buffalo and if you are a Mountaineer, come out and see us, Coach Hudecki, or you listening to this game. We want the folks in Buffalo to come to that game.
So joining us now, Brian Hauk, head coach, successful win. Coach, congratulations. So how about that?
Taryn, always a pleasure to see you, brother, and it's great to hear Country Roads on a day like today.
So you battled a little bit of adversity. You were down by 3. What was the message to the team?
Just a little adversity, right? Nothing we can't handle. Man, we just had to dial it back into the fundamentals, fighting for ground balls, getting our stick work right, covering up the backside on defense, and we just knew we wanted to win on Senior Day. So real proud of the seniors. Love hearing the musket fired. Man, that was an exciting one. So I'm just really proud of our guys.
A little bit of adversity, something that you say all year. That came true today. What does it mean for your team to battle back the way they did to pick up the win?
Yeah, it means a lot. You know, Friday night wasn't our night, and to regroup and fight the way we did and just take pride in our seniors, their last home game. I'm just so proud of them for what they showed today.
Getting a little emotional.
Yes, sir.
Special group of seniors. What's it mean for this class to come through?
Yeah, I mean, these guys have been committed for 4 years. You know, the alumni and players before them, you know, kind of put them in a place to succeed, but then these guys just worked so hard to move the team forward, and I'm just so proud of how far they've came over the past 4 years.
Well, Brian, you're 5-4 on the year. Next game is Pitt. The Panthers up in Pittsburgh, a night game. Talk about the Panthers.
Man, if you can't get fired up for the backyard brawl, you might not have a pulse, you know. So that's always an exciting game, but, you know, now it's going to be for a playoff spot. So, you know, if the game wasn't big enough that makes it even bigger. But, you know, Pitt's a lot better than they were last year. You know, we're a different team, but, man, we're going to prepare hard. We're going to be ready, and we're going to ride the momentum from today.
But first, you got to enjoy this one. So go enjoy this one. A double overtime win for Brian Houck and his squad. We thank you ever so much for being with us here on the WVU Lacrosse Network. Brian, congratulations.
Taryn, I appreciate you, brother. Go Mountaineers.
So a double overtime win lifts West Virginia over the Illinois Fighting Illini. So we say so long from the University City of Morgantown. Taryn Malone saying goodbye for Jim Mills and the rest of the crew.